Question everything, for the truth shall not be televised, and that's for sure. So with that, when it comes to reparations and talking about reparations, especially on these different platforms, they really don't want us talking about our Holocaust as Aboriginal Negroes of America and what has happened to us here on our own land in America. They don't want us getting our own information out about who we are. They want to call us African Americans. They want to call us colored. They want to call us Afro Americans. They want to call us black. They want to call us all sorts of different things that separate us from our nationality or who we are for being here on our own land and infringed upon on our own land after they stopped us from reading for 200 years to change our identity, change all things in America, change all names of places in America so that way it don't fit the narrative and the reality of what they actually invaded here when the colonizers first got here. Thus implementing a whole new people to be us on our own land, giving them certain rights to be us here on our own land as they make laws and threats and all sorts of massacres and genocides against our people to stop us from being ourselves on our own land. This actually happened. No people can invade a land without surveying the land first. In order to know who the real original people is of America, you first got to go back to when they first started to map out the land. Like, for instance, if you're coming to somebody's house and you've never been to their house before, the very first thing you got to do is find out where they live. And you can't write a false narrative about the mapping out of where they live because you'll never get to their house. So that's the very first thing you got to do. And then when you get to the house, you got to document who you see in the house before you can invade the house, so that we can surveillance and understand who's in the house, what they're about, how many is in the house, what they look like, and so on, to be able to pass it on to your colleagues. This is just that reality, and this is what they had to do in order to get on the soil and take over the soil of America. Thus, they had to write about who they seen, which was us. This is why Karumi Ayu, Dan Calloway, the research guy, Aboriginal Power, and many other different brothers and sisters that are speaking from the books and ledgers that the colonizers have wrote about who was here are coming out now. And they want to hush these things up and keep them quiet so that way you don't find out and you don't know. Because they owe us reparations, they owe us our land back, and they owe us liberation because we haven't been liberated yet. Emancipation and proclamation don't mean crap. You got all these different sites from YouTube to TikTok to you name it that don't want us to speak on our behalf for what has happened to us as a people, keeping it hush-hush on our Holocaust, keeping it hush-hush on atrocities that has happened to our people, but yet still want to push what happens to all other nations but us that don't look like us. They want you to care about what happened out there to the Palestinians, the people that's in Israel, the people that's in Ukraine, the people that's everybody that look like them. But when it comes to us, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't want you to hear nothing about what they've done to us or who we are 100% when it comes to who they found in the wilderness of North America when they was looking for Mosai's people who got lost in the wilderness. They don't want you to talk about that. They don't want you to know about that, thus keeping us in a gag order so that we cannot speak, put out misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech in order to control the narrative of what is being approached upon when it comes to the hidden books that they've been hiding for years from us so that we don't get the ledgers, the documents, the decrees, and many other different things that was written out to come put us in shackles. This is just that reality. And now that we're getting them from John Ogilvy, Lee Petty, and many other different people that have spoken on it, George Jones books, and many other different white scholars that was back then that wrote on what they seen when they first got here and who was here, the Negro. Now all of something they don't want to allow these books and allow this type of conversation to go on. Thus doing the same thing they did with slave patrol tactics back in the day, trying to stop us from reading, stop us from congregating, stopping us from coming together, stopping us from trying to speak on these things as a whole, stopping us from trying to homeschool to be able to teach our children what is really going on. These things are a reality, and they still happening today in 2024, and it's just what it is. They don't want to give us reparations, but they talk about there's no more hate. That's all a lie. We're equal. That's all a lie. You cannot be equal with a people that stole everything, gave their people a 600-year head start with stolen goods, stolen property, stolen land, stolen wealth, stolen legacies, and then turn around and tell the people that is way behind you that you stole it from that we're equal. We can never be equal. We can't catch up because they won't allow us to catch up because they won't give us reparative justice. That's just what it is. They got every excuse in the book, and they'll continue to lie to you because that's what it's about. That's what criminals do. Criminals lie. Inheritors that inherited stolen wealth is no different from the criminals that stole the wealth because they're maintaining and keeping what they're stole, thus making them no different from the criminals that stole it. And more off, probably even more heinous than the actual forefathers that stole it because at the end of the day, they know the history and willing to step knee deep in it and keep all of what been stolen, thus maintaining your suffering as Aboriginal Negroes of America. This is exactly what is happening. This is exactly what is going on. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is reality. This is what our people are under. This is why we in the position we in under ghetto slums and hoods. This is why we get mass incarcerated more than any nation in the whole entire world. Our nation right here as the Aboriginal Negroes of America. This is not by accident. This is by hatred. This is why when you look up the federal census of ethnic hate crimes, you are the one that's at the top of the list as number one to be hated in the United States. This is not by accident. This is how America has been set up. The United States has been set up against our people. And we keep trying to play a game like it's not that reality. No, you've been tricked, programmed, and lied to for hundreds of years to the point where now you done accepted these trick lies and programs to where now you okay with seeing your own people being oppressed on a day-to-day basis, okay with seeing abandoned buildings and ran down homes in your communities on a regular basis, okay with not going to businesses or stores or restaurants that doesn't look like you, that doesn't maintain your economic interests from nowhere by you spending your money with them. This is just that reality. This is what's going on. And they've done this systematically through trick lies and different type of Negroes that look like you, selling you a bunch of lies to keep you in the position that you are in as they continue to get bags, which is that money, that sellout money from the colonizers to have a legacy with the colonizers while the rest of us as the whole of our nation suffer and be destroyed under these terms and conditions that they have us under through economic oppression, political oppression, systematic oppression on a day-to-day basis as the colonizers run rampant through our community with slave patrol, chasing down our babies, chasing down our men, boycotting and blocking our men from getting jobs and blocking our men from getting careers and blocking our men from getting resources to be able to open up their own businesses. This is just that reality, teaching us inferior education so that we can't work with our hands to be able to build and be empowered with our own hands to structuralize our own way of life in our communities throughout America. This is done on purpose. This is just that reality. And we got to start to accept that. This is what it is. We can't compete because they're not allowing us to compete. We don't have no say over the school curriculum and program that goes into our children's brain, goes into our children's mind, the things that make up of our children through education. We have no real true say over what they're supposed to learn. Thus, this is why they're not doing well when it comes to the actual race of production in society. This is just what it is. You cannot be productive in society if you're not getting education on a level of productivity that helps you build your nation. And this is where we at. This is why they keep a stronghold on the curriculum of what's being taught in school. When we need carpenters, we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need barbershops, we need police departments, we need hospitals, we need our own law, we need our own reality when it comes to dealing with our people. And we're not getting this.